Hi everyone, I'm Joanne. Welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to work on this beautiful flip-flop journal. So I just love this cardstock on the front. You open it up and you'll have a signature there. You'll open it the other way, you'll have a signature there, and then that's the back. I took a piece of this cardstock and I glued it on top of another piece of cardstock, and it makes it really a good weight, a good thickness for a journal. And I just love it. I sewed around the edges. How it all started was I fell in love with this rose card, and I was going to put that on the top of a journal, but it ends up being too big for this size journal. So I'm going to cut it down some off the right, I think, and put it on the inside. But I created two signatures and just do a quick flip through them, and I'll add them in later. But I really need to focus on making some embellishments for the journal. So what I did is I pulled my Dreams Etc. kits and went through and tried to find some items I could use, but I do want to cover my work surface before I start creating so I don't get glue all over my mat. But yeah, I went through all my Dreams Etc. kits and pulled different things that I thought would be complementary to this journal. So I got out some pretty ribbons and lace and other embellishments that I thought would work. Look how pretty this floral fabric flower is. It would look so good on the front of the journal. I also pulled some fabrics and I fussy cut a lot of butterflies yesterday, although I'm not sure I'm going to use them in this particular project. I just don't know that the color is going to work with it. So we'll see. But anyhow, I pulled out 4 tags and some cluster strips to work on today. I am going to focus on the cluster strips first, and I have, I think, like 6 of them. They don't need to be colored on the back because they're just going to go on the side like of a flap, or yeah, I think that's what I want to call it, a flap in the journal. So they're going to be glued down. I don't have to back them with coffee dyed paper or anything. So even though I have, I think, 6 of them, I'm going to work on the one, well, 5. I'm going to work on the one that I already inked around the edge. It's already kind of busy, so I don't feel like I need to put like a label or really embellish the front of the cluster strip. So I'm going to add something to the back. I try out a couple different papers, and that's really not working for me. I just don't feel like it's very complimentary. I'm going to save them for something else. But again, I just feel like what I'm trying to add to the front is just a little too busy. So I end up deciding to use just a solid color ribbon. And I really like this one. I had gotten this at Joann's Fabrics. I think this one looks good too, but I'm going to save that for another part of the journal that I already have in mind. So I'm going to put this little fancy lace on the side. Now I have to decide, do I want it on the left or do I want it on the right? So if I put it on the right, it's going to be seen when you look at the journal, if you kind of catch what I mean there. Because it's going to stick out a little bit. And I don't mind that. I'm going to do that probably with some pages. But for this one, I think I'm going to put it on the left. I actually do kind of almost audition it in the journal to try to figure out how I want it. Let me find a piece of coffee dyed paper or a piece that's going to have that flap, but it looks so pretty on the coffee dyed paper that that's what I mean. So if I put it on the right, it's going to like stick out on the side. You're going to be able to see it looking down at the journal. But if I put it on the left, you're not. But I kind of like it on the left. I kind of like how it looks against the coffee dyed paper. So that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac and use it to glue the ribbon down to the cluster strip. Of course, my Fabri-Tac wants to hand me a hard time trying to get it open, or at least able to flow. But this one's been cooperating pretty well. Usually I fight with it, which is one of the reasons I don't like to use it that much. But this one has been working pretty well once I get it going. So I'm just going to put a small strip of glue there. And I really want it to be aligned perfectly. And I find the best way to kind of gauge it is to flip it over and see where everything sits on the back as far as the pattern of the lace. And I decide that these circles in the middle, which I'm not even sure you can see, is the best way to gauge it. I think they show up about halfway against the strip. So there's the little circles, and I just want to make sure that the same amount is showing on the strip. And this one lines up pretty well. And I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to put this one aside and let it dry a bit. I think I'm going to do a second one, and I'm going to put the ribbon on the right hand side. So maybe each signature will have two in it. I'm not sure yet. It'll either have one or two because I'm going to use other ribbon and probably decorate the sides of the pages within the signature. But this is so pretty, and I have enough of it to do another side. All right, I still have a little left over I can use for a tag or something else. But I need to ink this one up because I had not pre-inked it. I'm using Vintage Photo, my definite go-to ink. And I even want to grunge it up a little more on the sides, just so that it frames well on the coffee dyed paper so that you can see it and it just pops a little more. I love that. One thing I love about daylight savings is I can work in my craft room a little later in the day because the light in here is not great, and it just gives me some more daylight, and I can work in here a little more in the afternoon, which is when I'm recording this. It's been so beautiful out. Today it was, I think, in the high 60s. I don't know that it quite got to 70 degrees, but tomorrow it's supposed to be 70 degrees. So this one hands me a little harder of a time to get it straight. But I'm going to give it my best shot here. So yeah, I've been loving the spring weather and a little more light. Although I'm having a hard time adjusting the daylight savings. I feel like I'm sleeping in the morning a little later and having a hard time getting to bed at night or getting to sleep at night. But I'll adjust. I just don't feel like this one looks 100% straight. So I'm even going to pull out my T-roller to see if I can line it up a little better. Because if it's wonky in the journal, it's going to drive me a little bit crazy. But I think that's pretty good. All right, put that one off to dry, and then I'm going to work on my tags. So the tags do have a design on the back, so I don't have to back them with coffee dyed paper or anything like that. They are thick enough to just be a tag. So I think I'm going to layer one, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to put on the top. So it's going to be like a tag and then a tag on the top. So let me cut a couple of these out here with my trimmer. I think I can get them straight on this, and then I can just try a couple of them out and see what looks best on top of the tag that I've chosen to work on today. I think I'm going to go with the rose, the light rose, but I don't know that I like it as long as the original tag, so I think I'm going to cut it right there. So yeah, I think this is the one I'm going to use. Let me just trim it up a little bit. Make it a little bit shorter. Yeah, I think it looks better like that. So I'm going to use my crocodile, cut the hole in the top, and then I need to ink this one up. I'm a pretty slow crafter when I don't have a plan, which is why sometimes I do speed up the video a little bit and voice over it so you're not stuck watching a 40-minute video for one tag and two cluster strips with a ribbon down the side. But sometimes when I craft, I just like to bring you along and see the process. I'm not sure these labels really belong on here. I think they're a little too dark. I think this journal is just going to be kind of feminine and lacy and just really pretty. So I do want to pull out maybe some stamps or stickers or something to add some embellishment to the top. But I don't know that I have anything in these trays that'll go really well. I feel like something needs to be almost horizontal on the bottom. That's pretty, but it just cuts off if I put the tag on the top, and it just looks like I have a stem and some leaves. But I'm going to keep looking for something. Nothing that's going to really fit along there. Again, I just think it's too big. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I guess it's a possibility. But I'm going to end up, I'm going to pull out my sticker book and see what I have in here, if I have any pretty rose stickers. Rose colored. But I do find one that's actually even a rose. I don't think there's anything else in here that really goes well with the tag. I also have some rub-ons. So I think I'm going to try out some rub-ons with this. And these are simple stories. Not even 100% sure where I got these. I think it might have come in a cherry on the top subscription. It probably goes with a kit, although I separated the rub-ons and put them in my sticker rub-on drawer. I do like this little stamp. I kind of like the rose and the stamp, and I like the butterfly. So I'm going to cut out a few of those. think the butterfly would look cute up there. And maybe even one of the words instead of the rose. I think maybe the blessed. I'm going to cut that out and see how it looks on the bottom. I love a good rub on. And I've never used Simple Stories, so we'll see how these work out. But I love my 49th and Market rub-ons. They're so nice. Instead of using that little wood stick that they give you, I like using either my bone folder or one of these plastic rub-on sticks. Come on, butterfly, cooperate where I want you. Make sure I feel like it's all pressed down before I lift up the plastic. Oh, it's pretty good, except he's missing a little part of his wing. So let me line that back up and try to get it to stick. That worked out pretty well. Line that up so I know where to put the bottom pieces. I kind of like it on an angle. I kind of like the Simple Stories rub-ons. They're really easy to see when it rubs off. So before you pick up your plastic, it's, like I said, it's kind of easy to see that it's rubbed down properly. I want to make sure that blessed is straight because, again, that will drive me crazy if it's not when I look at it. This one was really easy to see when the image is separating from the plastic, so I like that. I put that on the top, and I kind of like how that looks. So I'm going to take an eyelet. And adhere to that with my crocodile. So I think I want a pretty ribbon on this, or yeah, at first I'm not sure I'm going to add the ribbon through it because I wanted to look for something. The velvet's too thick to go through. I like this chiffon I have that I got from Temu, so I'm going to grab that because I think the colors will look so pretty with it. It's entirely too thick though. Oops, wants to jump out. But I even think like a pretty bow would look nice up there. Kind of stay with the femininity of it. So I may cut that later, but then I see that I have the little piece that the roll is tied with, and it's actually the perfect size. So I'm pretty well convinced I can get it untied. After working on it for a little bit. It opens up and becomes the perfect little ribbon topper for my tag. To try to get that to be really as thin as I can. And pull it through. I think it's so pretty. The ends are just a tiny little bit too big, but it's a pretty tag. So that's all I'm going to make today is this tag and the two cluster strips with the ribbon. And I just think they're going to look really nice in this journal. So I really, really appreciate you guys watching and hanging in there with me while I create. I'm going to keep working on some embellishments today, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone.